Excited to start that new city? You've laid out the roads, placed some residential, commercial, and industrial zones, and pressed the unpause. Wait, what do those blinking icons mean? Oh, I guess we're gonna need some power. Let's talk electricity in City Skylines 2. Hi, it's Drax. This is the part at the beginning of the video that everyone skips. For those of you that didn't jump forward, enjoy watching and listening. Might you consider supporting me further by visiting my Ko-fi or clicking on the join button on this video? Alright, that's it. Back to the video. Whether you want to go old school with some coal-fired power or renewable with wind and solar, in this video I will show you all the options to power your new city. I will also run through how to connect up to other cities and fix those pesky bottleneck problems. First things first, let's look at all the options available in electrifying your city. Click the electricity tab in the toolbar. You'll see that I have all the options unlocked. This will not be the case at the start of the game. Some of the options you'll unlock as your city grows. The first two options on the toolbar are electric cable and power lines. The electric cable is used to connect low voltage power to your city, and the power lines are, you guessed it, to connect high voltage power. The cables are what you use for connecting all your local power. They can be run above ground or below. I almost always use the below ground option because I like to keep things tidy. In City Skylines 2, most of the roads come standard with power cables built in, so you should only need to run these cables when connecting to something not connected to a road. The power cables integrated into the roads is such a nice add to the game. The power lines are used to move high voltage, like when connecting to outside cities or moving power between transformer stations. More on both of these in a minute. Just like with the cables, they can be run above or below ground. Transformer stations are just as the name suggests. They convert high voltage to low voltage. These are not something you'll be using at the start of your city, but as your city grows, you'll need to move power and balance power. Placing these stations throughout your city will help keep the power load even and stop those pesky power bottlenecks. More on bottlenecks later. Wind turbines are my go-to in the early game. They don't generate a ton of power, but they provide cheap, renewable power. When placing the turbine, you'll see a number. This indicates how much power will be generated, up to 5 megawatts. I recommend moving around the map till you find that perfect location. Connecting them to the grid is easy using cables. You can also connect them together using the same cable. You have 3 upgrades that, if you have the money, are worth purchasing. Solar panels increase the power output during daytime. The rotor upgrade increases the overall power output. The storage battery stores power for later. All great upgrades. Of note, these do output some noise pollution, so be careful not to put them too close to where people live. Small coal power plant. Yep, a small one. I call this the starter coal plant. Get your feet wet with some fossil fuel burning. If you're going to use this at the start of the game, there are a couple of things to remember. 1, place it downwind from where people live. People don't take kindly to coal ash in their tacos. 2, make sure it's placed far from anything you care about. It will pollute the ground and is noisy. Connecting these to the grid is simple, as it needs a road to operate. When connected to the road, you're connected to the grid. The next source of power is the gas power plant. If I'm honest, I rarely build this one. While it does pollute a bit less and run more efficiently than the coal power plant, it just doesn't seem like that big of a benefit over burning coal. There are 4 additional building upgrades that try to lure me into building gas power. They are added storage, additional furnaces for more efficiency, exhaust filters to reduce pollution, and the additional turbine for more power. Still, probably a pass for me. If you do build it, same connection as a coal power, run a road, you're connected. The emergency battery station is a big battery. Not something you'll be building at the start of your city. When I'm rolling in cash, I'll build a couple of these to store extra power coming from my renewables. Connecting to the grid is easy. I usually just run high voltage directly to my power source. The coal power plant is an exact copy of the small plant, only bigger. This means you can pollute twice as much. The same rule applies when placing it. Unlike the small plant though, the bigger version has a couple of extra upgrades that might make it worth the cost. Increased storage for coal, an extra turbine can be added to generate even more power, the advanced furnace will increase overall efficiency, and last but not least, the exhaust filter, which will reduce pollution. So, clean coal? Connecting is the same, run a road, but it can also be connected via high voltage connector. Geothermal power is the next option in the electricity menu. No, it doesn't take cars from the 90s and grind them up to generate power. It uses heat from down deep. So no fuel source, which I guess makes it renewable. The downside of geothermal power is that it's dirty. Ground, air, and noise pollutions are in effect. When placing geothermal, it requires groundwater, so yet another reason Drax doesn't build these. There are a couple of upgrades available dealing with efficiency and power output. These plants seem gimmicky to me. Does anyone use this power as their main source when playing the game? The sun will solve all of our problems, said the solar power salesperson. These are great sources of power, especially when paired with some big batteries. While not perfect, as they have problems generating power at night and when it's cloudy, they are clean with no negative impacts, which means you can place them anywhere. They're also renewable, which means no fuel needed. They have a couple of nice add-ons. High voltage substation allows for more connections. An advanced tracking system allows for more sun time, and a battery backup for more power. Once I'm able to afford them, solar is my go-to power option. Oh, and here's a hack the other YouTubers won't tell you. If you turn off the day-night cycle, you can have solar power 24/7. Drax hacks. The nuclear power plant is clean and reliable. Put those thoughts of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl out of your head. This plant is expensive to build and maintain, but generates a ton of power. You'll also see an uptake in water usage, so be ready to add some more water generation. The noise pollution is real, so keep them away from residential areas. Plus, no one wants to look out their window and see a cooling tower. When my city reaches critical mass, I build one of these just to deal with demand when the renewables are in the clouds. Connection to the grid is done via high voltage lines. And if you need to turn them off because the sun has you covered, you can click this little button and you'll idle the plant. The last entry in the list is hydroelectric power plant. I love building these. I, however, don't love how much they cost and how poor they are at generating electricity. If you have a river that can support it and a smooth hand to place it, this damn power plant can generate some nice renewable energy. I think my main beef is less with the game and more with my inability to build them without breaking the bank. I mean, the end result, if you can build it, it's damn pretty. On top of all the options we just covered, you can buy and sell power from neighboring cities. Doing this can be achieved two ways. The first, and the least expensive, is connecting to power lines that are already built. Take a quick look around the map and find the lonely power line looking for a friend. Once found, simply connect it to your power grid. Excess power will be bought and sold depending on the demand. The other way to connect to the neighboring power grids is to run a new power line to the edge of the map, much like you do with roads and rails. If you've done it right, you'll see this little two-sided arrow showing the connection. Power in City Skylines 2 is easy to manage, especially with the roads serving as the main power connectors. However, as your city grows, you'll start to see bottlenecks and power failures. Don't fret. If you're seeing these little power icons flashing, it means you're not generating enough power. So it's time for a new plant. If you're seeing this fun icon, it means that there's a bottleneck and the power is overloading. At the start of your city, all power is just running from the power plant directly into the city. And as the city grows and demands more power, the small power lines will be over capacity. Now it's time to build a transformer station. How and where you place these is completely up to you. As you can see here, I've placed my transformer stations throughout the city to balance the power and keep those pesky bottlenecks at bay. Here are a couple of last tips as we close out. Pollution and noise coming from power generation is real and will negatively affect your citizens. Be smart about placing your power. If you're looking to save money, you can adjust the amount spent on energy production to save a few bucks. The trick is good practice in the early game. Click on the city economy and then services and electricity. Now dial back the budget number until you see flashing power icons in your city. Then move it back up a bit until you see them disappear. You've met the demand and you've saved a bit of cash. Remember that you'll need to adjust this number as your city grows. City Skylines 2 has not reinvented the electricity placement and generation in this version of the game. They've simply refined it. I still wish there was a couple more power generating options, something fun like the microwave power from SimCity, but maybe we'll see more options in the future. Do you have an electricity tip for me? Leave it in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.